Hello. Hey, Dakar, can you close my door? Hey, everyone. I'm not going to stay on here long, but I did say that I was going to come on and talk about sharing your partner. So I'm going to do this. What time is it? 11:38. I'm definitely needing to get off here before midnight. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to those of you who don't know me. I'm Devi Maisha, sensual energy alchemist and pleasure coach. I did want to talk about sharing your partner. Now, I know a lot of people think that I just mean like sexually, or I've got jazz in the background, or in a polyamorous way, and that's definitely one way to share your partner. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were actually talking about um, how people have fear around sharing their partner, and so we were talking about it from a polyamory perspective. For those of you who don't know what polyamory is, poly meaning many, amory meaning hello to everyone joining, amory meaning amor meaning love, so it means to have many loves. People also make the assumption that if you're polyamorous, it means you're sleeping with all of your lovers, and that is not necessarily the case, but it does mean that you are involved in relationships, a relationship with more than one person. So for some people, sharing their partner is an issue. So let's take polyamory out of the equation, right? Because that could be hefty for a lot of people. Let's just talk about sharing your partner in general. So let's assume this is a monogamous relationship. There are people who have an issue sharing their partner with their partner's friends, just having their partner go out with their friends without them. There are people who have an issue sharing their partners with former girlfriends or boyfriends that their partner may have been with, right? And so this fear of sharing, hello, this fear of sharing one's partner actually stems from insecurity, and it stems from the idea that the person that you're with is somehow your possession and belongs to you, right? So this is my man, this is my woman, this is my person. And there's a fear that if I share this person with other people, that someone's going to take them away from me, and then I will be alone and I will be in pain. That's really the underlying reason for a lot of people putting so many restrictions on their relationship. So if you're in your 30s and you're dating someone, even if you're in your 20s, chances are they've had relationships before you, and maybe those relationships broke up amicably, and maybe they are still friends with that person. There are people who believe that you just cannot be friends with your exes at all because it opens the door to the possibility that they might do something else. This is largely fear-based thinking, and it's not a right or wrong. This is not a judgment. It's not a judgment of whether this is a right thing for you to do or a wrong thing for you to do, but it's an understanding of what the behavior is. You can choose to continue it. You can choose not to continue it. However, it is a fear-based response. The fear is, if I allow my partner to hang out with their ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, they are going to cheat on me. And so I cannot have that happen. Therefore, I cannot share my partner with people from their past who may have been important to them and instrumental in helping them to develop into the person that I am now seeing out of fear, right? Or there's a fear that I'm not enough, and then they will need this other person to add in because I don't know that I'm enough for my partner. And the idea of them spending time with someone else also then frightens me. The people that we choose to be in relationship with, A, it is a choice. B, we don't own them and they don't belong to us. They are not our possession, and it is not their job to make us feel loved or to make us feel special or to fill in the holes where someone else may have left holes. That's actually not the purpose of being in relationship with someone. The purpose of being in relationship with someone is in large part to assist with, hey, how are you? I'm sorry if somebody else was commenting on the other side saying hello. I'm sorry if I missed you. You can tell by my voice I'm tired. The purpose of being in relationship is to grow and learn with the person that you're with, to expand who you are, and to hopefully bring some joy to their life and they bring some joy to yours. But the person you're in relationship with is not responsible for making you feel loved or special. It's important that you do that on your own. Anything that they add to that is just overflow for your pot. But if you go into a relationship believing that this person's job is to make you happy, or is to make you feel like, hey, ambitious, or is to make you feel like you are loved, or is to make you feel like you are important, then you're coming into the relationship at a deficit. And anytime those feelings are not met, an argument will ensue. Anytime those feelings are not met, issues of insecurity will come up. And you will want to hold this person tighter to you, which can cause more tension within the relationship. So taking polyamory out of the equation completely. Hey, Frenchie Pierre, how are you? So taking polyamory completely out of the picture, right? And to be clear, I don't think that everyone needs to be polyamorous. I think that people need to decide what relationship structure works best for them. But I think that everybody needs to be clear on why they're in relationships. And most of what I see is that people are in relationships looking for that hole to be filled that exists within them. So they're basically looking for someone else to validate their existence with their love, as opposed to the person validating their own experience. So again, going back to just exes, right? If you're having an issue with your current partner being friends with someone that they used to date, right? That they may have had a long relationship with, it can make things very tricky in your current relationship. We're supposed to enter the relationship whole and be interdependent. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so here comes the sharing part, right? Because this person that you're coming into a relationship with had a whole life before you arrived. Like they were living a whole life before you existed. And the idea that that whole life should somehow stop now that you've arrived cuts off so much growth. And again, also speaks to the insecurities that I say you, but I'm not talking about you specifically. So if I say you, it doesn't mean you. It shows the insecurities that this person has, right? So when my friend and I were talking about sharing partners, we were talking about it in terms of polyamory. So if you don't know, I am polyamorous. And that requires a lot of navigation because there's jealousy that does come up. And there's also the idea of sharing with other people. And it has caused me to have to look at some of my own behaviors. So I'm somebody who likes to feel like they come first. I think we all like to feel like we come first because that means that we're more important than other people, right? So I've had to examine that belief. Well, what does that mean that I have to come first? Does it mean that I'm less important? What if I'm on equal footing, with other people that someone is seeing? And what for the people who I'm seeing, do one of them feel like they need to want to come first, right? And so it starts to have you ask other questions, not about the other person, but about yourself. Why do I need this? What is it that I'm trying to prove to myself? What is it that I need to feel in order to feel secure in a relationship? What does security look like? And how can I be okay with sharing my partner, whether it's physically or whether it's emotionally or just on a purely platonic level with other people? Because again, we can't expect that the people that we're with are going to cut off their whole entire life just to be with us or satisfy us so that we feel like, okay, there's no chance that they're going to cheat on me. First of all, cheating is not the be all end all end to a relationship. It's usually a symptom that someone's needs weren't getting met and that person wasn't able to speak up about their needs not getting met, to be honest. If a woman costs my inner peace, sanity, respect, and growth, she gotta go. Security. Yeah, I can completely understand that. Hey, Tony, how are you? I'm tired. You can tell by my voice. I'm not gonna stay on here too much longer. But so if you are in a relationship with someone and you find yourself having difficulty sharing them, whether again this be if you're polyamorous in a polyamorous context and you're having difficulty wrapping your brain around the idea of sharing them. If you're not in a polyamorous relationship and you're in a monogamous relationship and you still have difficulty with the idea of sharing your partner with friends that they have or exes from their past that they may have had that they may still be in contact with, the first thing I want to say to you is, sharing is caring. But I'm so sleepy, y'all. But seriously, we are all multifaceted human beings. We are not one-sided. There's no way for anyone that we're with to satisfy all of the sides that we have. And it's not their job to do so. I am goofy. It is not their job to satisfy all the sides of you. What happens when you choose to release your own insecurity and allow your partner to connect with other people, however that is? So again, it doesn't matter what your relationship structure is, right? When you allow your partner to connect with other people, you give them the space and trust to grow. And from that growth actually comes a deeper connection and adoration of you. There is a greater bond that takes place. Now, this is from two people who are complete on their own right, who have done some work. Obviously, there are people out there who, given this type of situation, wouldn't know what to do with it, right? Because they have not done their own internal work and they have not come to the understanding of what it means to love someone or care for someone. Well, I'm not speaking about those people. I'm speaking about folks who have done some work. But when you share your partner, they're more fulfilled. They're more alive. They're more filled up as a human being. When you try to restrict them and have them cut off parts of themselves, resentment can build. They're pieces of who they are that no longer have an outlet, that don't have anywhere to go. And now they're forced to stuff who they are in a box according to what will make you feel okay. And that's not love. That's not love. That's ego masquerading as love, needing to feel secure so they don't lose their favorite toy. But that's not the same thing as loving someone. Because when you love yourself first, whether someone stays or goes, painful as it may or may not be, is okay. Because you're solid and complete in who you are. This other person doesn't validate or justify your experience. So the fact that they're in your life is like, yay. And if they're not in your life, it's still like, yay. Because either way, you're still good. And I'm not suggesting that there's no pain that can come with that separation. But as I always say, pain is part of life. And we can't keep living in ways to try to avoid it. Because that's what happens if you try to restrict your partner. You're attempting to avoid your own self feeling pain. So it's really a selfish act. Right? It's not a loving act. So, hello. It is borderline, and there are a lot of people who are focused on self. They're focused on self because they're coming from backgrounds where they were not given that love and they have not done enough inner work to really fall in love with themselves. You got to fall in love with yourself first. And then from there, that love is extended to your partner, as opposed to I need to look and find someone to love me, right? If you're looking to find someone to love you, you're already setting yourself up for a poor experience. So I just wanted to talk about that because my friend and I were discussing it and talking about the fears that people have of sharing their partners. Whether, like I said, whether it's with look, there are people in my life who are non-negotiable. Whatever relationship I get into, even if I have a primary partner, there are people in my life, there are men in my life who are going nowhere. They're going nowhere. There are experiences that I have that are going nowhere. You know what? I can say this because he was on here. King of Massages, Tony. He's a dom, and from time to time at events, you saw him. I think the last time I went live, he was on with me. There are times at events where he will be spanking and flogging my ass. That's an experience that I enjoy. If I met a man who was feeling uncomfortable about that, we'd need to have a discussion because that's not going to happen. I'm not willing to forego that experience because it brings something extra to me, which would help me bring something extra to my partner. Now, there are some people who would say, well, if you love your partner, you would stop doing that if it made them okay. And my thing flip is vice versa. Well, if my partner loves me and trusts me, then they understand that this is the experience, and they're more than welcome to come along, and they're more than welcome to have Tony teach them some things, right? Let's just share the whole experience. Come learn, come see, come grow. Maybe Tony doesn't end up being the person who spanks my ass anymore. Maybe you get taught and it works out that way. But to come in off the rip in the beginning to say, well, this can't happen anymore. Oh, so that's a part of myself that you're now denying me. And if you're going to love me, you have to love all of me. All of me. So these are the things that I'm saying. In many situations and circumstances, a lot of people will tell someone you have to cut something off in order to be with me. And really what the rest of that sentence is because I'm scared that if you don't, you won't stay with me. And I need to have you here because you make me feel good. And that's all very one-sided and selfish. Right? Absolutely. Self-preservation. Agreed. All right, so that's it for tonight. Those are just my little short gems of wisdom to drop. Sorry I came on here late. I was working on some schoolwork. I was a little behind in my class, and I'm trying to catch up, trying to at least secure a good solid B at the end of this. 4 more classes to my bachelor's, and then I'm done with school. I will not be going back. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting and joining in on the conversation. And talk about this amongst with your own partner. Talk about what sharing looks like for you. What their boundaries are, what your boundaries are. I'm not suggesting have no boundaries, but I am saying you need to have a conversation at the very least, and don't tell someone to just cut things off, right? But talk about this. I'd love to hear what your partners say, what your friends say. Talk about it. Expand, grow. Have a good night, all.